I'm Kirby.
And I'm Cameron.
And this is the 50th Real Gamerscore podcast. We are your source for Xbox achievement news, Gamerscore tips, and Bean Dive alphabet soup. This week we talk about stealing Ubisoft's microtransaction money, stopping smoking even though we weren't and were never planning to in the first place, and Alex talks about Rocket League. Oh no, wait, he plays it instead of recording with us. But first, here's the song of the week. It's Bean Dive time again, just how far will you go? Build backlog for a year, then push to pop just one. Who needs completion percentages in their life? There's only one way you can add them to your tag. Bean divers are a little nuts, and I think that's okay. I hope you got your games on your card.
Green Day, Wake Me Up When September Ends.
Oh my god, what?
No, wait. It's Green Day, I know that much.
Yes.
I'm in mental blank now. So the unpredictable, and the ending is fine. I'm having a mental blank. I know the lyrics, I don't know the song name.
Wake me up when September ends. No,
No?
it's not. Wake me up when September ends.
I'm just really bad at the moment.
That's okay.
I'll
I'll give you some time. Later, you just yell it at me, and I'm like, "Ooh, okay. Oh, right, song, got it."
Yeah.
We'll see, maybe.
Well, it's Green Day. I've got half the answer.
Yeah, that would almost be a pass if 50% was a pass,
Okay.
which it is in most places, but not here.
Now I've just got Wake Me Up When September Ends in my head. God damn it.
Well, as you can hear, still no Alex. He's last week away. He'll be back next week. He had a lovely time with his wife. I think he got second in the cane toad racing, his gay Freddo. It was good. He did well. I'm proud of him. His first time cane toad racing. I'm sure he had a great experience. Probably never wants to see a cane toad again. Welcome to the rest of the world.
What was the cane toad name again?
Gay Freddo.
Gay Freddo.
I swear it was. I'm pretty sure he put pictures in the Discord.
There's some great names out of them.
There were. If I can find it in the next. There. Oh, perfect. Okay. It was Jerry Springer, which is great. Skippy's Love Child.
Yep.
Camel Toad. And Aussie.
You're not going to say the other two?
No, there's only one more. And there's one down the bottom that I don't think was an actual toad.
Bella and...
Dude, I don't think Bella's a toad because no one was assigned to her and she has no odds. I think someone just wrote Bella and put a love heart.
Okay. Interesting.
But he did well. He got a $30 drink voucher and what looks to be a bottle of champagne. And probably got to take the cane toad home by the looks of it too. Did not say anything about whether it was a better kisser than Nicole. So, just gonna assume it was. And congratulations on your second wife.
Oh.
If you wanna see these pictures and see the little shenanigans that we get up to, easiest way to do it is to join the Discord. Discord.io/realgamerscore. You can talk with us. You can see all the nonsense we get up to, all the stupid Aussie mannerisms we have. It's great, good fun times. Moving on from the Discord, we have our contest that we run every month. Someone wins every month, but we don't want it.
Mostly Neo.
That we run every month with the random to-do list. The prize this month is Stranger Things 3 the game. To have a chance at winning that, you need to unlock one achievement in the random to-do list and answer the trivia question, another game with the word stranger in the title. There is only one game. It has a stack, but there's only one. You need to send the answer to that to the random to-do list account on True Achievements. If you want to be entered in the random to-do list, which is a contest where you get a list of 25 achievements that you have not earned, and you're tasked with earning them in the month. If you only get a couple, that's fine. If you get none, that's fine. If you get them all, it's great, but there's no pressure. It's just sort of maybe a good way to work through your backlog, or to if you get into a rut, which I do sometimes. You get game paralysis when you have too many games, because you too many options to choose from. It's weird.
You forget what you've bought in previous sales and left there for 4 or 5 years.
Yep. But yeah, you get a list of 25 achievements. You can unlock as many as you want. To get in on this contest, you need to send a message to the random to-do list account on True Achievements, or to myself on True Achievements or Discord, and I will get you set up. We have been doing a team competition this month, and this team competition will be going over the next 2 months as well, so through till the end of September. And at that point, we'll wake up Cameron.
I'm awake.
It's okay.
Sorry, I just thought I was...
No. What song was it that Green Day did?
Wake me up. Wake me up before you
Wake me up when September ends. It's okay. It wasn't the best joke, but we got there in the end. You know,
this complete loss.
Maybe no one heard that joke. Maybe only you and me heard that joke, and the Patreons in about 4 months' time after September. But anyway, yeah. So the contest with the teams is extending over August and September. I always forget what month is after July for some reason. Currently in July, since we're halfway through the month, I figured we'd give a score update. We have 2 metrics that we're measuring. We have score, so the points that each achievement is worth, totaled up, and the amount of unlocks for the teams. So the team in first place on both boards is Big L's Sandwiches and Tacos. So they have 21,798 points and 105 out of 150 unlocks. So they're doing quite well. As we go down the score leaderboard, we have in second place Mario Party, which is my team, in 21,656. So we're only 142 points away. That's a pretty low ratio achievement. In third place, Freem's Dream Team with 20,552. Gestorado RTDL'd, which is your team.
Yep.
I believe. Yep.
Yeah.
With 19,833. And the Awesome Possums are in last place. That's Alex's team with 13,707. Though they could be trying to pull what Big L's team pulled last month and do a sneak attack in the last week or so. But I don't know if that'll work with their max potential pointage being so low. Yeah. The lowest out of all the teams. In the unlocks, as I mentioned, Big L's team is first. In tied second place, Gestorado RTDL'd and Freem's Dream Team with 98 out of 150. In fourth place is Mario Party with 96 out of 150. And last place, as with the other board, is Awesome Possums, who have 72 out of 150. So, yeah, it's a good halfway point, I think. I mean, aside from Awesome Possums, pretty much everyone is over half of their unlocks that they could get. So everyone's on good track to hit a reasonable score. I would be surprised if we didn't have 4 out of 5 teams getting over 100. I'd honestly be surprised if we didn't have 5 out of 5 teams.
I mean, it's pretty close too, especially between second and fourth, like 98 and 96.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, but again, it could be strategy. I don't necessarily think it's the best strategy, given the rest of the teams don't seem to be stopping. But
I mean, Alex's team could just swoop at the very last second, and very much doubt it. But
yeah, it's possible though. Anything's possible. We still got half a month left, and it swings pretty quickly. This contest.
Yeah.
So those scores will be tallied up at the end of the month, and we'll total it over the 3 months, and there'll be prizes for stuff, and it'll be all exciting. That's all the contests. Moving on, we have news stories. Now, it's a bunch of little stories, really, because
there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing big this week.
Gamescom is the next big thing, and there doesn't seem to be many sort of huge announcements coming out before then. There's a lot of work being done leading up to Gamescom. I've started getting PR emails asking me to book in to see these games at Gamescom. Like, I'm not going. Like, I'm not going to be there, so no, I'm not going to book in to see your weird PC indie game. I'm sorry.
Jeez.
But first news story, Cuphead is getting a Netflix adaptation.
Whoa.
Comedy series. So the article says that the game sold over 4 million copies worldwide. It'll be a comedy expanding on the characters in the world of the game, centering on Cuphead and his brother Mugman, who make a deal with the devil in a high-stakes gambling match. Really doesn't go into much more detail than that. Talks about some of the people making it. I have no knowledge of anything related to TV show making or filmmaking in general, aside from, the few big directors like James Cameron, etc., etc. So these names mean nothing to me.
Wait, you don't know Dave Watson from Mickey Mouse Shorts? He's a legend.
Or Cosmo Sigerson from Rocko's Modern Life, Static Cling.
I was going to say I've heard of Rocko's Modern Life. I've never heard of Static Cling. But anyway.
Heard of the first half, not the second.
Yeah, same. But
yeah, I just don't know where this could go. I
find it interesting. Like, it's, in all honesty, it's all it is a companion piece for the main game. But I feel like there's a little bit you could actually do with that, especially as a kids show.
Yeah,
something bright and colourful like that kind of just brings back like the early Mickey Mouse days.
Yeah, I guess if you do it alongside the release of the new DLC, but I don't see a reason that this would be happening now. Like, I don't see a point.
I think it's more beneficial to Netflix than it is to Cuphead. I mean, like,
yeah, I guess so. But even then, how many people who played Cuphead were hankering and just hungering for a TV show? So they could go, man, that's not how the boss fight goes at all. The dragon does this and this and this, and what?
But like, would you honestly check this out when it comes out?
On the recommendation of people I trust.
Okay.
I'm not a big TV watcher. I have a few shows that I will watch, and I have stuff I watch on occasion with my girlfriend just while we spend time together. But I don't sit down and watch TV as the thing I do, like to relax and kill time. That's games for me, and really, like, even if I'm in bed at night or whatever, I'm reading rather than watching something for the most part.
I mean, I reckon I'll check it out just for a curiosity factor. Like, does the art style match the game? How much... Like, you can tell a lot of heart went into Cuphead when you play it. Like, it is a brutal game, but you can tell the amount of heart and, just the hand drawings and everything's just amazing. I mean, if the same level of heart is put into a TV series, I imagine it could come off really well.
I scrolled down too far in this news story, Cameron.
Where?
The Bachelorette and the off-screen drama looming over frontrunners. I scrolled down too far. I ended up somewhere else. That's not where I wanted to be.
Oh, jeez.
Go back to my safe. So, the article then mentions other shows that have been announced, like the live action Witcher coming to Netflix as well. The Halo series that's in production at Showtime. And an adaptation of Ubisoft's Skull and Bones.
I haven't heard anything.
Which
hasn't
anything? Even come out yet. And see, that though makes more sense to me than the Cuphead being way later. That's their pirate game.
Yeah, I was going to say, wasn't Ubisoft also working on The Division, having a movie with Jake? what's his name?
Ubisoft
John?
do The Division?
I swear there was an announcement at E3 about a movie.
I just meant the game at all. It's so far off my radar. I didn't even know Ubisoft did it. Like,
okay, you've had me worried. Do I stick to my guns? I believe they do.
No, I'm sure it's Ubisoft. It's so far off my radar that I didn't even care.
It has Tom Clancy in the title. It's a Ubisoft title.
Yeah, okay.
General
so Ubisoft handles everything Tom Clancy?
Pretty much it, yeah.
Okay, alright. Because I knew it was a Tom Clancy title. I just, again, had no sense of any of that stuff. Yeah, Cuphead. I don't know. It seems like a weird move for me. And again, it's probably, as you said, it's probably better for Netflix and they're doing it for them, but it just feels like weird timing.
Yeah, I can see what you... I mean, the only way this could possibly get any weirder is if it comes out with like an M or an MA rating. I mean, if you don't... I mean, this is perfect for a kid's audience.
Do you think it goes down the Bandersnatch route and is playable?
Oh, don't be one of those. I mean, it's bad enough that they got Minecraft on there. Don't be one of those.
How awful would it be to play Cuphead as a Netflix thing? If it just like pauses every second, jump, parry, shoot, jump, dash left.
Top that, can you imagine a game reviewer trying to play the tutorial on a Netflix remote?
No, yes I can, because you know what there'd be, are you a normal person or are you a journalist? The two settings.
Yeah.
If you pick the journalist setting, then there's only one option that comes up, so you can't fail unless you don't press, which thinking about
basically just run you along a track and you just have to press A.
Yeah, you don't actually, it's like those auto runner levels in Super Mario Maker, where you don't actually have to touch it and it just does all these cool things by itself. Yes. And then you feel good about yourself. It's like, I did that. I made it to the end without dying. Yeah, that's how the setting would go for the journalists.
Oh, God.
Wow. Glad I had my laptop muted. Apparently it's playing sound. Stupid article.
I was going to say, you're not going to... You hit with the Bachelorette video as well?
That's probably what started playing, to be honest.
Exactly. Okay.
Moving on from that, we have something interesting. And it's interesting because of what this is likely to pair with. So Microsoft have patented detachable controllers for mobile portable devices. So essentially, they've made Joy-Cons for their xCloud service. So there's images in this article which we'll have in the show notes, but they talk about 2 removable input modules which can be attached to a mobile device or touchscreen to provide input controls. The inventor says that's weird that I don't know, just my brain, that's weird that they would have said the inventor rather than Microsoft again. The inventor says that the input modules can be removed and it has been designed in such a way that it will obscure very little or none of the display area. Which would work, except that newer phones are having less bezels. Is that what it's called? The bezels, like the edge of the screen, essentially.
I have no idea, actually.
Like the iPhone X.
I'm just trying to think of the last time a phone did have like that kind of, because most of them just fall off the edge now, don't they?
Yeah, the bezel is the border between the screen and the frame of the phone. So my iPhone 7, which is magically not here, has a bezel. So there's a gap between the edge of the screen and the phone. Like the newer iPhone X's don't really have that.
Like my one.
Yeah, same thing. But it'd be top and bottom. So because theoretically you'd hold your phone sideways. I can't imagine many games playing vertically, though. Raiden, something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a few niche ones.
Vertically scrolling shmups you would want, not horizontal. So looking at the images they've got, though, you can see clearly that it's designed to not be blocking the screen, but that's not really what a phone looks like anymore. They then say that the detachable game controllers can be connected to the device directly or via wireless technologies. So that then makes me think, much like the Joy-Cons on the Switch, I can detach them and just have them in my hands with the screen wherever. So if I'm playing on an iPad or a laptop, I can just have the screen sitting there and just sit and without having to attach them to the laptop screen and play it that way, you know?
I wonder how much thought's actually has gone into this, or if they're just trying to jump ahead of the curve and say, look, we're trying to develop something like it. We'll patent the technology now and then flesh out the details a bit later.
I wouldn't be surprised if this was not the only patent regarding this kind of stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if they had 10 or so different patents just to cover stuff that they are planning to make. They then mention a charging base where you put the detachable controller pieces onto, that plugs in via what looks like could be USB-C. So charges that way, the batteries are rechargeable, and you can then store it somewhere else safely. You'll probably have a carrying case and stuff.
Wonder if it's similar to what they'll do with the Elite version 2.0.
That's certainly what the image looks like. It looks
like just
like
have it
there is
resting
a
in
base,
a case,
and that's where the case would go onto or around or whatever. I think this is quite interesting because it's very different to everything they've shown us thus far with how a controller system would work with your xCloud. Whereas previously they had an attachment for the controller that would hold your phone. This seems like a more lightweight solution and you know, more losable because they're smaller, but that's an issue. I'm probably gonna eat the part and swallow it because I'm a 5-year-old child, you know.
There's pros and cons to both of them.
It's weird. Looking at it, it's weird because it has 2 of the Xbox jewels on it. Just this design has a jewel on both sides, so that's throwing me off immensely. Are you looking at the image?
Yeah, I'm looking at Figure 2. Yeah,
Figure 2. Yeah, that's throwing me off. I don't know why. Just looking at it, it has all the parts and then it has 2 jewels, and that's doing my head in. It's killing me. No, I think this is good. I think this is a much better solution than the attachment for your controller. Not having a full size controller, I think, is better.
I think it's going to come down to personal preference in what games you're playing, really. Like, I would imagine something smaller is going to be more beneficial for, I don't know, potentially a platformer or something like that. I could not see myself playing a platformer with a full controller on a phone screen.
I can't imagine using... If this comes out and it is a reasonably well-designed product, I can't imagine using a full controller for anything on xCloud. Except maybe, you know, a laptop if I happen to be at home and not at my console type deal. Or the TV. That's the only... Like, if I'm out anywhere, regardless of what device I'm using, I can't imagine just whipping out a controller if this is a viable option. I'm
wondering how much setup would be with this too. Like, you're gonna get your little case out with your little Joy-Con attachments, put onto your phone. Wonder how much is involved in it.
Quick Bluetooth connection would be nice.
I imagine they would do Bluetooth.
Yeah, I don't see any triggers or bumpers on the design, but it's a very early patent. It's not really going into the specifics. There's also the other thing is that there's no grips like you have on a controller. Like, there's no things coming out. So that's, I guess, could be an issue for people with bigger hands, which was always a selling point for the Xbox controller, is that it's not this small little tiny flimsy controller that your hand is going to get cramps after playing for an hour because you're not in a comfortable position.
It's ergonomically designed to meet 99% of gamers.
Yeah. This doesn't necessarily appear that way.
Bless you.
Though in saying that, we're still early prototype designs, and I'm sure, I hope it's not going to look like this when it's done.
I mean, it's just interesting to see where the brainstorming is surrounding it.
Yeah.
Like, just to give an early idea what they're chucking forth.
Yeah, and it's also good because this gives an indication that Microsoft are taking xCloud a bit more seriously. Like, they're not just making it, putting it out there, see how it goes. They're putting work to make sure that the product that they put out is going to be good and worth using and has options. You don't just have to conform to one way of doing it. You don't have to have a controller with the phone attachment or whatever. You can, if you want, just have your little detachable thumbsticks and whatever and use it that way. You have a Switch. Do you ever use the Joy-Cons wirelessly like that, where they're separated and just in your hands?
Not. Look, I've honestly only used the Switch as much for playing Minecraft and that, but I mean, and like some cases where you're playing like Mario Kart, stuff like that, I find it more, the Switch's stuff's more catered towards your co-op or your multiplayer experience, playing against somebody on the go, like just with one Joy-Con, not so much two, if that makes sense. I mean, like with two, I just imagine though, like, would you potentially be able to use one if you needed to? Like having that kind of
use one, like splitting them off,
and I wonder if
games Overcooked does that. There are games that have that split controller design.
I'm trying to think of anything like maybe even like a Final Fantasy X or that. Even if you could get the inputs to go off off one controller, having that turn-based combat.
I think they'd have to put work into Microsoft would have to put in more development time to make that themselves. I don't think that's something they could get the game developer to implement. I don't. I'm
trying to think of all the implications of something this small too. Like, I would imagine your rumble features and all that would be gone with something this small. Is that an issue? I don't know anyone that plays with rumble. Like having that vibration.
Yeah, no.
I do, but mainly just for FPS.
Okay, I don't think I've had rumble on for years.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's like weird to have rumble on, but that's definitely a non-issue for me.
I'm trying to think of you generic gamer though. Like, I think that I tend to go closer to the norm because I play your games like your Forza, your Gears, your Call of Duties, where all that kind of stuff will have that heavy. You know, like you run off the track in Forza, that's when you're going to get that feedback. I'm just trying to think of the pros and cons of this compared to a normal controller. Like, everybody's going to have a preference.
And hopefully more information does come out. I mean, it goes into open beta, I think, in October. So maybe at Gamescom, which is in September.
I'm hoping we see something ourselves for PAX in October.
When is Gamescom? When is Gamescom? Dang it, I have to Google. When is Gamescom?
Kirby's just shouting at his computer like a madman.
August.
Okay. So it's not that far away.
Yeah, I could potentially see something being announced at Gamescom in regards to this, with the controller specifically. Yeah. Maybe if it's not ready, then XO 19 London.
Yeah, I think London's more of a safe bet. Like
in November.
I mean, if the pan's just out now, like, it just seems very early days.
Yeah.
I could see this as potentially being something that comes out like even 6 months past xCloud's launch as well.
Yeah, I guess with it releasing more closer to when it actually launches live to the public as opposed to a beta.
Yeah.
Although it could be an open beta for a while because that's a nice easy way to say we'll have some bugs, just deal with it until we get around to fixing them.
Just ride the wave,
yeah.
Give us some feedback, and yeah.
Okay. So Gears 5, not Gears of War 5, Alex, just Gears 5. Gears 5 is going to be smoke-free after outreach to esports broadcaster.
Yeah.
So an anti-smoking organisation reached out to E-League, who owns the broadcasting rights for the game's esport contests, and it's been confirmed that it's not going to have smoking.
Yeah, no, it's from what I've seen, it's definitely been confirmed that it's not going to have smoking.
Was that a concern earlier?
I mean, it has had it in the past. I believe in the earlier titles. But yeah, I don't know. Like this was the one that confused me during the week because there was a lot of, I guess, misinformation at first. There was just comments about like, oh, okay, they're coming out of the gate the same. They're not having this. They have this, but they're going to get rid of it to cater to anti-smoking. Words speaking.
Organization that's reached out.
Organizations, yeah. But then Rod Ferguson, who is head of the coalition, came out and say this is, to be fair, not entirely accurate. I've been against smoking from the beginning and have worked hard not to make it part of the franchise. So, yeah, it just seems interesting. Because I'm trying to think, and I'm sure Alex would be perfect to chime in and say, oh yeah, well, this character in this earlier game smokes. In this, I honestly can't remember it in any of the titles myself, but I'm sure it would be at one point.
They've said that all the Gears of War titles were rated M by the ESRB, and none of those were due to tobacco or other substance, as in alcohol or drugs. So
okay, so just violence, blood,
so
gore.
There was no tobacco use or drugs or alcohol, and this then makes me feel like it's the organisation trying to get a bit of reputation and a bit of awareness of them. By doing this. So we've reached out. Now we get to have a new story that involves us and Gears 5, which is a reasonably big title.
Because I first came looking at this like, oh, is this another one of these, hey, we're not putting microtransactions in our games, you should think we're better than what we really are because we're not including this dumb thing.
Yeah.
Like, there's been too many of them lately, and it just seemed like out of the gate that this was one of them, but it seems like it's not the case anymore.
See, and a previous story that they ran mentioned that the decision to remove all smoking references from Gears 5 came after the organisation approached the E-League section, whatever, E-League... approached E-League.
You're not really having a good time talking tonight, are you?
No, it's awful. So then the way that's written makes it sound like there was smoking references and then they were removed. Whereas it sounds like the Rod Ferguson is saying, no, it was never going to be there in the first place and there never was any in the first place.
Well, yeah. That second tweet from him too. My dad smoked. He died of a heart attack at age 38. I was 4.
Yeah,
it's
feels like it's just a lack of due diligence on the part of the original journalists.
Jeez.
They had a Gears 5 will exclude smoking depictions after concerns raised by Youth Anti-Tobacco Org, and then in brackets exclusive. So again, it just also feels like then the journalists are going, wow, this is a big news story.
Yeah.
And this will get us noticed. I'm going to run it. I'm not going to check anything because that would be silly. Because I'm sure the organisation probably did approach E-League, and I'm sure E-League said, yep, there's not going to be any... We hear your concerns, there won't be any smoking depictions in Gears 5, which then turns into a completely different story.
Yeah.
It's... I don't know. Weird that this is new. Like, this has become a bigger piece of news from what was seemingly just such a nothing...
But, yeah, that's exactly it. Like, I mean, you think about, like, a story like this 5-10 years ago, it would have no weight to it whatsoever. And even now, it's, like, just blown completely out of proportion.
Yeah, and it's almost like... I mean, it's obviously not written for us because we're slightly more informed than the general public who will probably read this story and go, oh, yeah, that's really good, yay.
I'm glad they're getting rid of Cole smoking all the time. Yeah.
You'll still have lots of bloodshed and violence, but thank goodness they're not having a cigarette at the end of their day. Because that would be the unhealthy thing in this situation.
That's the real issue at hand.
And not to make a joke out of smoking, and that smoke, but I've just gone and murdered 50,000 things, but I'm not going to have a cigarette.
I'm sure if you lived in a Gears-based universe, the last thing in your mind is going to be like, these cancer sticks, man. These cancer sticks are really going to do me in one day.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It is what it is. Loot boxes are in the news. They're up and all over the place. So
we haven't had one of those articles in a good long week.
Yeah, but it's still probably worth talking about because it is relevant. BBC News have run a story. The title is "The Kids Emptied Our Bank Account Playing FIFA." Now that's a very clickbaity title.
Yep.
So 4 children spent nearly £550 in 3 weeks buying player packs to play the FIFA football video game. You haven't even capitalised FIFA at all. You've not capitalised it in any of this. I can't. BBC, you're awful. FIFA is... Oh, God. I've just now read that FIFA's not capitalised. Like, it has the first F capitalised, but the rest of it is not. Do they not... They're the BBC. They should know what FIFA is. I'm annoyed now. It's on the family's Nintendo Switch. That's the kicker. It wasn't even on like a console. It was on their Switch.
It's on a Switch.
They're probably playing in handheld mode.
I guess they can like, where would the last place you would think microtransactions could occur? To that degree, a Switch. Yeah.
Well, so the kid's father bought them a single pack for £8, and didn't realise that they watched everything he did to make the purchase, and so they then just continued to make purchases. The dad also admits he has some of the blame. He didn't take full precautions to limit access to the Nintendo account so that the kids could not continue to make those purchases. He didn't use a unique PIN number, and the email receipts were sent to an old email address with the full inbox, so they probably weren't coming through.
Yeah.
He says, I just never thought the children would do it, which is fair enough.
Can I just say, though, kids under the age of 10 felt very remorseful. I mean, if your kids are under the age of 10, you need to be taking these precautions.
The thing is, and this is still, for the majority of people, they just don't understand microtransactions completely, and they don't understand why they need to, like, put these limits in place. Where, yes, gaming is growing as a whole, but it's not yet at a point where every person is gonna... we spoke about this earlier. If you asked every single person in the world, it's some form of a layman's term, what is a microtransaction in a game, I'd argue most of them would not be able to tell you.
Yeah.
Even the ones that play Candy Crush on their phone or whatever, mobile gamers would probably not be able to tell you because it's not something they understand. they might then, if you explain it a bit further, say, yo, you know, when you buy hearts in Candy Crush or whatever game, you know, gems in Marvel Puzzle Quest. I don't know if they use gems. They probably use gems. Everything uses gems. Gems or diamonds.
Gems of War? Does that use gems?
Uses diamonds?
Okay.
I want to say.
I tend to stick away from the whole DSA. The only real stuff I know of microtransactions is like your FIFA points and that kind of stuff. But
and I also don't know how Nintendo is set up with whether they immediately send an email every time you make a purchase, because I know Microsoft, given that we play Xbox, I know that Microsoft does fairly instantaneously send an email saying, thank you for your purchase, you know, here's your receipt or whatever.
Judging from the photo there, it looks as if it does.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure on that, yeah.
The other thing with regards to this is that a lot of the time the kids don't fully understand that what they're doing is spending real money, especially when currencies are set up so that, you know, a game will have their free currency and their premium currency, and it's a fairly seamless route to buying the premium currency. Maybe you try to buy a pack and you can't, and it says, oh, you need 300 more coins. Would you like to buy it? Or would you like to get it a 500 coin pack? And you just go yes, and it's purchased and done. Now that might not be the case here. The kids may have fully known that they were spending money and just didn't stop because they weren't getting the thing they wanted. But and yes, the parents should have been more aware, but a lot of the time, and I'm sure with a Switch, it was probably happening in the same room that he was in.
Yeah.
Like they were
I could imagine that, yeah.
In the room with him, and, you know, they're on the Switch, what could they possibly be doing? They're like, you know... Yes, the parents should have been paying more attention and whatever. Yes, they should have educated the kids on the fact that they're spending real money. But it's also the game companies aren't putting out there that this is something you need to do.
Yeah.
Like, the parents are...
There's a lack of education when it comes to this kind of stuff.
There's a lack of education from the companies as well, because it's a sneaky way to get some money. I assume if the family got refunded, that it would come out of Nintendo's pocket, and I don't know, they'd probably charge onto EA in this case because it's FIFA, but I don't know that in all cases that's how that works out. So
I'm just trying to think, like, even if like 1 in 10 people still ask for a refund when it came to something like this, I'm sure there's still... I'm sure it would be the case of, oh yeah, the kid's done it, it's okay, we'll refund you the money, but still be able to make that much profit off of it. There's no...
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, there's no laws and regulations saying... I mean, like, sending out that email saying of that purchase, I imagine there would be some regulations around that. But past that, I'm not too sure. Just a quick reference to... just quickly message Jester. £550 translates to 990 Australian, roughly. So close to $1,000.
Yeah, it's about just under 2 to 1 at the moment.
Yeah,
it's disappointing that it isn't yet. And yes, there's a ton of news stories about it. I mean, this is a BBC News have put out the story. The amount of people who will look at this anyway are going to be slim. The amount of people who aren't interested in it are going to be even smaller. Like someone who who has a Switch for their kid is not going to read this story, regardless of it being relevant to them. The awareness is just not being put out there, and you know, the companies are definitely not going to. The game companies aren't going to do that because they're making money off it. Why would they want to educate people into not spending as much money.
I'd be interested to know what disparity there is between consoles and phone stuff too. Because I imagine a lot of parents would be more aware of, don't spend those purchases on Candy Crush on my phone for kids. But not so much consoles. I wonder if there's a lack of education when it comes to that kind of stuff as well.
I think it's also easier for parents to lock down their phone from purchases. Like,
True.
that's something they use fairly often, so they're a bit more savvy with it.
Yeah.
They may have no clue how to do it on a PlayStation, on an Xbox, on a Switch. They're also less likely to have the kids have their own phone as opposed to
True.
like a Switch. Like, you are way more likely to have a 6-year-old have their own quote-unquote Switch than you would their own iPhone. You know,
That kind of sends a shiver down my back, just having a 6-year-old with a screen like that.
6-year-old. Man,
I know some parents are like that, but geez.
not even some parents are like that. The kids are super, for the most part. Every kid from pretty much every kid from like 5 knows how to use an iPad.
I know. It's insane.
Like, if they've had any exposure, they sync it and they just know it.
Yeah.
Like, it. I mean, and they're not dropping it or anything, but they'll know how to use it better than us. You know.
That's yeah.
I
know what you're saying.
Give me a couple of years, they'll be running rings around it. They'll be beating us up with the iPads. But yeah, just it's disappointing that there is a lack of effort from the video game companies to educate people more. And that's because it's in their favor if people don't know what is going on and don't know what their kids spending money on. I guess it sucks, but it is what it is.
This is kind of just branched me off into what has a child purchased off eBay?
Oh God, no, not going down that rabbit hole.
Okay. Okay.
Finally, some interesting for us because we've used it. Ubisoft is banning the creators for a start, and also removing the player-created Assassin's Creed quests that let you level up by doing nothing. So essentially there is experience and money farming quests, which you walk up to, you start the quest, it will basically instantly finish, reward you a ton of experience and some money. The money being really the more important thing in this case, because for us as achievement hunters, you need a lot of money to get that some of the achievements related to upgrading the ship and other things like that.
Saying that, even the XP gain was pretty good though. I mean, getting to level 99, and I think it took me 45 minutes when it was active.
Yeah. So essentially, what happened was Ubisoft released a tool that allowed players to create their own stories. So they could, they can have these epic stories with big sort of boss fights and stuff. But of course, as soon as you give players tools like this, they're going to try and find ways to. I don't want to say exploit because it's not really exploiting. It's something
they added to the game. Like, it's not. Yeah.
It's not like they've subverted something in the game to make it do this, or subverted the tools. They use the tools exactly as was presented to them, but in a way that Ubisoft weren't expecting.
I'm kind of surprised that they didn't clue onto, like, beforehand, thinking that people wouldn't do this.
I have no idea how they didn't. Like, that's literally the first thing you do is when someone gets player tools is try to make something easier for you. Like,
yeah, you go. Sorry.
No, I'm with you. I don't understand how they didn't think this was going to happen.
Well, yeah, as soon as I found out, I jumped straight on, and I'm pretty sure I told you, probably an hour later that day, hey, this works. Get on this quick.
I started the
game. They're going to patch it out.
Because again, we knew it would also get fixed. Yeah. Whether fixed is the right word in this case, I don't know. But Ubisoft will definitely say fixed. So they're calling it an exploit. So they've said these exploits risk jeopardizing the overall quality, integrity, and purpose of Story Creator mode, and results in less visibility for the creative, interesting, and frankly fantastic community stories that have been published. So what they're saying is, lots of these being made, they're getting pushed to the top because they're being used so often, and so other really good stories are being pushed away. That's an easy fix. You just make them unable to get pushed to the top.
This also it translates into a loss of profit for them too, especially of that Devil XP tool.
They have microtransactions where you can purchase with in-game premium currency, which you purchase with real money. There are two 50% increases, one for experience, one for money, and then there is one that does both experience and money for 50%.
I was going to say usually retails around $15 Australian. I believe I bought it way before this was the case of it coming out. But just the XP gain in the game is way too slow, especially compared to stuff like Origins and.
Yep, and that it almost feels like that was deliberate and intentional, so that you would be compelled to make this 50% extra purchase.
Yeah, exactly.
That purchase doesn't mess with the integrity of the game. It doesn't jeopardize the overall quality of the game, not according to Ubisoft. But doing this will. You will not get the right experience if you level up instantly, as opposed to giving us money to level up really quickly.
Pretty much it.
Yeah. It's disappointing that game companies feel like this is something that they need to get rid of, because whilst they are claiming it's so that the real stories can be noticed. I'm sure they're not disappointed by also potentially increasing their profits or getting rid of the loss of profits.
I wonder what the fix will be for them.
They've been pulling the quests out, so they've been removing them, and they mentioned that players that continue to, because they've updated their terms of service to essentially say these are not okay anymore, you can't do it. And they will, I assume, ban players from the story creator mode if they continue to do this. So, because you're on an Xbox, you just make a new email address, new account, do it on a Smurf.
I mean, what's to determine as being seen as this is an exploit or this is an actual story? They haven't really come out with any distinguished guidelines for this kind of stuff. I might make my epic Greece thriller where you travel to all different islands and do this whole things, but the XP gain off it is nuts, like 20 levels or something. I mean, 20 probably seems a bit high, but pull it back. You get the gist. Whereas compared to something where, hey, there's a character 1 meter away from me that I need to stab once in order to gain a level, and then rinse and repeat until I get to level 99. I mean, they really haven't said anything about, sure, we want this exploit to stop, but what's okay, what's not okay?
Yeah, it's whatever they feel like, and it's always going to be whatever they feel like, and they're going to remove whatever. I'm sure I haven't had a look at the new terms of service. I'm sure they've got a really broad definition so that it's up to their discretion what they feel like removing. And you can report these stories for being XP farms, and I'm sure that brings it to their attention quicker. And the people that do that are the people that had to work hard for their levels and are annoyed that there is now an easy way to do what they had to put in effort to do. Which again, fair enough, you're allowed to feel that way. I just don't see why taking it out on player choice. Well, we love that. Developers love that term, player choice. So why you're attacking this player choice? Yeah, you don't have to use the XP farm.
I mean, it's not a multiplayer. If this was a multiplayer game, it'd be perfectly justified.
Yeah.
If it's a single player, enjoy. There might be the case of that parent that doesn't get as much time of the gaming as he used to, that wants to get through this the quickest way possible to experience the bits that he wants to experience. he doesn't want to do that massive grind that comes up with, in the past without that XP gain. You grind for a bit, and then you finish the story. You grind for a bit, then you finish the story, just in order to progress.
Or you pay for the boosted experience, then you don't have to grind as much. And that's what Ubisoft want. They want to shortcut the time aspect with paying them, as opposed to shortcutting the time aspect by using something better, more efficient.
It's just the feels bad, man, everywhere.
Yeah. It's quite unfortunate that they didn't see this coming at all. I don't know that they. I don't know how they didn't know it was going to happen.
There was an XP glitch in the past where it was the crouch method that, or you could automatically just get a Cronus running on it and just do it off that. Like that took them. How long's the game been released now? I'd like to say at least a good year.
November last year? I don't know.
Oh,
no, earlier than that. Maybe September.
Is this in its? Is this in its like at least a year and 6 months? No, 6 months. It was released in November. I can't remember if it was 2017
October
or
2018.
It was? Okay.
October,
so nearly 9 months.
Yeah.
It took them, at least 6 months in order to patch that then. Because I'm pretty sure it only started getting patched around April. So, I don't know.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. The rest of the story is that Ubisoft are once again being annoying.
I'm Poppy.
Make good games, but then they want too much.
Do they though?
I enjoy Ubisoft titles. I just don't enjoy where I have to grind for stuff.
Yeah. Alright. And now we have lots of talking by me. Lots and lots of talking. I think we'll do the G-Task roundup first, because the other thing is just going to be...
I was going to say, it's going to be amazing, but it's...
mind-meltingly brilliant.
Alright, do you want me to do the G-Task roundup?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, so...
See, now I wish I'd written my notes better, because...
I mean, you can help me through this. It's all good. So the solo cutoff for this week was 112. Okay, thanks for the clarification.
Yeah.
112,
not position.
TA. 112 TA. No, I was going to say Gamerscore.
Whoops. Yeah, difference. Yeah.
Cool. So with our solo low, we had Daryl Maple 285, which was 173 above cutoff. Our solo high was Secular, sorry. Secular Forever, 53rd with 3,405 TA difference. Was he in top at one point? I think he was in top team at one point. I'm not...
Oh, he was in the top team last week.
Okay, might be where I'm thinking of. Solo knockout, as far as we're aware, none. Cool. Everybody got through.
It's super... I mean, it's 112 TA. If one of our community members got knocked out at 112 TA, I would be really disappointed.
I nearly got knocked out last week. I was 4 above TA without using my bonus, so...
Yeah.
I mean, some people just have bad weeks. Anyway, moving on. Team cutoff, 1235 TA. The team low with Von Coin Bandits, Tropan, Hawkeye Berry 20, and I need... Lime. Togepi. Cool, thanks. I've never known...
Pokemon, man.
I know it's a Pokemon. I've never known how to pronounce it.
Okay, fair enough.
Cool.
Fair enough.
So 1510, 275 above cutoff.
Yeah. My notes, buddy. Good luck.
All right.
1510 true achievement.
I'm just difference. Like, wait, what? Gap? What? Team high, don't stop till you get enough. Banco Billy, Matty...
L. That's an L, yeah.
Matty L22L.
Yep.
Boomused box with the 18th spot of 7,909 TA. And yeah, team knockout none, so everybody's in for another week.
Yep. We get into week 10 and then we'll all drop out, every single one of us.
Week 10 or bust. Week 10 or bust.
Yeah. And now we move on to the next one. My god, it's just going to be a lot of me talking, isn't it? So, a couple weeks ago, the Bean Dive was happening, and it was suggested to me that perhaps I should do, as I was playing Borderlands 2 with Cameron and Matt, that perhaps I should do a quick review of, a review of the games I played up to the point where I got the achievement, essentially. So just a sentence or two on whether the game was good or bad, depending on my first achievement experience.
Did I say quick? This does not look quick.
Well, I took your idea of quick and went, stuff it, it's going to be ridiculously long. And I did one game in each letter. So it's the A to Z of bean diving, I call this. So we start with the number and we go down. I didn't do an X game because I didn't have an X game to do. So
did you really do the bean dive then?
I know, it's... And then at the end, I decided to do my bottom 5 dives, as in the dives I am least looking forward to going back to, and my top 5 dives, the ones I am most looking forward to going back to. So, in the number 8 to Glory, the official game of the PBR. This was a great dive, exactly what I expected from a bull riding game. I did not replace the name of the person. I played as placeholder and lasted 8 whole seconds for maximum points on the bull. I don't remember who I played as, but it was a really, really awesome bull riding name. It's like, I don't know, Chip Lone Star or something. Just real bull ridery. It's great. It's a good game. Away, Journey to the Unexpected. I helped a frog in a toilet in my house. And I got an achievement. I have high expectations for future gameplay now. That was riveting 10-second toilet frog help. Bloons Tower Defense 5. I played with sound for this one, and I don't normally do that, because one of my favourite noises is the sound of the balloons popping.
Wait, is Bloons Tower Defense 5 like the Flash
Tower Defense,
the Flash game that we used to play in high school?
Yeah.
Okay, writing this down as a future purchase. Cool.
It's great. Yeah, good game. Crackdown 3 campaign. So within about 30 seconds of playing, I said stuff the objective I'm meant to be going to, and I just wanted to collect the green agility orbs. That's all I wanted to do. I can see this being a really bad game for me.
Yeah, this is very fun, collecting all the orbs. Very fun.
Duck Life Battle. I made a duck and got an achievement. Game of the year 2019.
Wait,
calling it now.
How did you make a duck?
I just made like a character creation. I made a duck.
Okay.
I made a duck. It looks like a chicken. It's a duck.
Chicken duck.
Chicken duck. Enclevement Experiment is this 360 game. Played it on backwards compatible. Fun little puzzles. Game thinks I'm a genius, but I was playing on easy. So I am a genius. It's great. Fire Lone Sails. I wasn't expecting a side-scrolling little adventure game when I started it. I thought it was going to be like an open world kind of sailing like a car with a sail, kind of like a vehicle with a sail. But it was like a side-scroller. It was weird. Good though. Looking forward to getting back to that one. Goat Punks. You're a mountain goat, and you need to be on top of the mountain, and you also have like guns or powers or something, because you shoot the other goats when you're on top. You shoot them to knock them down. Yeah.
I just love that title, Goat Punks.
Yeah. Hexalogic. It's like a magic square, but it's hexagonal. Except not even hexagonal, it's just hexagonal parts. I enjoyed it because I like math puzzle type games. Do you know what magic square is? So you get like a grid and they'll have numbers on the side, so one side might have the number 13. So all 3 numbers need to add up to 13 in that.
Oh, okay, yeah, got you.
That sort of thing.
Got you.
Illusion of Ulfalsia. Yeah, that's a tough name to say. Auto battles in RPGs are the best. You hit one button, the fight does itself with auto attacks. It's great. I think you also had a cat leopard type thing creature as your sidekick, but I don't remember because I played a lot of Kemco titles, and that could have been a different one that had the cat in it. I played a lot of them. Some of them had cats, some of them didn't. Just Cause 4. Now, I don't know why they give you any weapon other than the grappling hook thingy that he has. It's ridiculous. It's just, you just shoot one thing with it and shoot another thing, and it goes whoosh, and just, it's great. I don't know why you have any other weapon. Oh, look, a helicopter. Pyum, pyum. Woo! It's great.
I really need to go and check that out.
Mm-hmm. Ken Follett's The Pillars of the Earth. When I started this, I wasn't expecting to have to help my wife give birth to our child in the first couple minutes of the game. There's a lot of blood. The child didn't die, but there was a lot of blood. The art style was good. It's a, impressive game. Legendary 11. Game is awful. Our goalkeeper threw it into our net, and it definitely wasn't my fault. It definitely wasn't for an achievement for own goaling. Game's terrible. 0 out of 10. Minion Masters. This is a fun, free-to-play game. It's fun. It's good. It's got a longish term grind. I think you have to win 500 matches and do 100 dailies. So if you do sort of 5 wins a day, then you'll get that done. It's 5 wins a day, and your daily, you'll get them done in 100 days. But it's pretty good. No Man's Sky. Now, I don't know if this is by design for how they wanted the start of the game to be, or my RNG was just awful, but I'm doing the tutorial on a planet where the radiation kills you in 30 seconds, so you have to constantly be getting the resources to essentially recharge your radiation shield to prevent that from killing you. It was not a fun experience. It was not fun. I reset a couple times to try and get a planet that was slightly more favourable, and eventually got one and ended up being okay and got an achievement, but it's just not fun dying in 30 seconds when it's not really your fault. Also, there was like a butt creature with like a butt on its face, like their baboon butt, and that killed me. So that was fun. Onrush. I used some boost. 0 out of 10. Not fun.
No.
I used some boost.
No. It's way better than a 0 out of 10.
Well, I used some boost and got an achievement and left. That was a pretty boring game. Okay, 0 out of 10.
For a Ben dive, yes.
Yeah. Party Arcade. I'm way better at hoops in this game than in real life. Like, they have the arcade hoops thing. I got a much higher score than I do in real life. It's great. It's very good. Queen's Quest 3, The End of Dawn. Now, I'm with everyone else. I wish they would just bring Queen's Quest 1 to Xbox, because then the trilogy would be complete and we would fully understand the story that's definitely connected between all three. This is Artifacts Monday, by the way. Okay. So, the stories are not connected at all, probably. I don't know. We won't know until we get the first one. But I think I found a collectible. And then I left. I abandoned the queen in her quest or something. Or maybe I was the queen and I abandoned my quest. I don't know. Royal Roads. It's Gnome's Garden, but it has a no timer easy mode. This is my new game of the year for 2019. It's overtaken the Duck Life game because it's Gnome's Garden, but easy.
But the ducks!
Yeah, but it's easier.
Okay, fair enough.
Smoot's World Cup Tennis. So once I figured out how to play properly, it was good. It was the learning, because I don't think there was a tutorial. You just kind of figured it out, maybe. But it was alright. It's very much timing based with your shots, so you can't like charge up a shot and then like your character will lunge to where the ball is. You have to position yourself before you start readying up the shot, otherwise you're just going to whiff. And also, if you release too early, it's not going to correct for that. You'll just whiff. Same with too late. Trouberbrook. I love the art style and I enjoyed the humour. There's a couple sort of look directly at the camera, break the fourth wall moments, but it was good. I have high expectations for this one. Ugly Dolls, an imperfect adventure. This was a pretty good B-grade license sort of adaptation. Like, of the ones they've done that I've played, like the Nickelodeon kart races and Paw Patrol and whatever. This was better. This was really good. Void Bastards. I died. Okay. World War Z. I didn't die, but everything else was. It's a zombie, so are they already dead? Everything else was already undead. So I made it dead. I re-deaded the undead.
You re-deaded it?
I re-deaded the undead.
Dead.
Yonder, the Cloud Catcher Chronicles. I picked up some rocks. You can pick up a lot of stuff in this game. I think this is not going to be a good game for my future as well. You can just pick up rocks. I don't think I need all the rocks, but I can pick them up, so you're damn sure I'm going to pick them up. Every single time. Those rocks are going into my bag. Every time. Zeroptian Invasion. I died, but in pixel form. Okay, and that was the A to Z. Now we have my bottom 5 dives. Were Axis Football 2018. I got an achievement, but it didn't count, so I had to do other things to try and get an achievement. It was weird. No, not good. For the D grade American football games out there, this is one of the worst that I've played. And I've played at least 3. Bendy and the Ink Machine. Good game, I'm sure. Just not. I'm not looking forward to going back to it because I knew it was a horror game going into it, kind of, or that aesthetic. I knew that's what it was going into it, but I thought maybe I could get past that and just enjoy it anyway. Nah, I'm not gonna like that.
You really don't think it's gonna? I reckon it'll be fun.
I
reckon when you play it and bit it, it'll be fun.
Yeah. Until I deal with the monster, it just becomes annoying and not scary anymore. Dying again and again. Like with Emily Wants to Play or whatever.
Yeah.
Crash Bots. This is a Sometimes You game. It's just an awful platform. Like, it's just bad. It's slightly unresponsive, so you jump and it happens like half a second after you jump. But that's by design, so it feels sluggish. I didn't like it. Hell Waters. Tower defense game, but you also then play. So you set up your towers and you are a hero on the field playing. It just wasn't fun. Like, it's just, I don't know whether having to be active, I don't enjoy that, or I don't know. It's just the towers weren't exciting, fun, or anything. Yeah. And lastly, in my bottom 5 dives is Monster Jam Steel Titans. Now the game may get better, but in the tutorial the control is awful. It's sliding all over the place. It's just not good. And those 5 were in no particular order. So it wasn't the best worst and the worst. It was just whatever 5 I found in alphabetical. It was alphabetical order.
I was going to say it is alphabetical order.
I went down the list and said, I didn't like this one, didn't like that. I picked a bunch and then worked my way back from there.
Cool.
So now my top 5 dives. 8 to Glory, the official game of the PBR. I love that there's a bull riding game. I don't think you understand how much I love that there's a bull riding game. Bull riding is really fun to watch and even more fun to play. It's really good.
Toro wasn't enough for you?
No, that was just bullfighting. I just stabbed bulls. Now I get to ride them. Far Cry New Dawn. I enjoy the Far Cry games. 5 was okay. I haven't finished it, but it's good so far. This is 5, the 5 engine, the 5 map, everything like that, but, amped up, as they tend to do.
I'm hoping when I finally get around to this game that it actually has a good story. 5 just does not feel anywhere close to 3 or 4.
Yeah, is that because it's the story is open by nature, in that you can like you're not hitting these points where things are building up to something, because you hit that and then you can just kind of bugger off and enter a different section and build up a different area to getting to that point. Like, you don't get that you aren't necessarily forced into that conclusion.
Like you can choose your steps. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that makes a small part of it, but I don't necessarily think it's the whole thing. I just think like, what's the enemy? Joseph. Is it Joseph Seed?
Joseph.
Okay. Well, the guy in 5. Bad guy in 5 is nowhere as interesting compared to like Vast out of 3. Like, the 3 and 4 just had so more of like a tight grip on me, wanting to progress through the story and not wasting time doing side stuff. Like 3 and 4 were the kind of games that you play through the story and then after that you go and check out everything else. 5 is just like, I don't really want to do this. I'll go talk to this woman's. I think she's got like a pet lion or something. 1 point in 5.
Yeah.
You just try and distract yourself from the main game because it's not engaging you. But I feel like New Dawn looks really interesting, so I'm hoping it's.
And there's a saw blade gun.
A saw blade gun. Right,
Yeah.
well, you have got
really
my
fun.
attention.
It's good. Next on my list of top 5 is Hexologic. As I said before, I really like math puzzles and math-related puzzles. I love Sudoku. I love this kind of game. I didn't use a guide when getting to my bean dive achievement. It's really fun. I mean, there are static guides out there because the puzzles don't change. So if you want to just play through this, you can. But I'm really enjoying actually figuring it out. Next up is Remilore. I am not going to say anything here because I will talk about it in what I've been playing this week. But Remilore it's an amazing game, and definitely in my top 5 dives. And probably the one that's going to surprise most people, World War Z, because it's typically a co-op or multiplayer game, and I'm usually not the guy that you look for when you want to play a multiplayer game. But it's fun. I played on easy. I played with bots, but it is fun killing the zombies and I don't know. It was just enjoyable. I had fun doing the things I was doing.
How are you going to approach this? Are you going to do it as a single player experience? Are you going to do it with a group of...
if I can. Apparently you have to do multiplayer stuff because I think there's perks or whatever that are on your multiplayer characters that you have to buy for achievements, and they are leveled up separately to your solo players, and multiplayer is in like PvP or something.
It's been that one game like where you've just gone, there's been like not much info said about it at the start, and then it comes out and everybody's just loved it.
Yeah, I'm surprised at how much I'm enjoying it.
Something that I'm definitely going to pick up, but I'm just waiting for the proper sale.
Yeah. See, I got it in there whenever it was on sale last time.
Yeah.
But, no, good game. Okay, and so that was my top 5 dives in no particular alphabetical order. Anyway, we'll move on to the review now. We have Prue and Mighty Mango this week reviewing Monster Jam Steel Titans. Maybe they had more fun than I did on my dive. We'll see. We'll find out.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's review. I am one of your hosts, Prue, and joining me is Mr. Mighty Mango. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well tonight, sir.
So you said that there's a bit of weather, surprisingly.
Yeah, again, the Minnesota thing is to talk about weather. So if this, before we start recording, I always update you with how our weather is.
Yeah.
So severe storms, they're past. We had a double rainbow.
Oh, did you really?
The sky was red, bright red.
I think there's an old wives' tale about that. Something about sky.
Red sky at night, sailor's delight.
Yes, that's what it is. Yep. Red sky in the morning, sailors be warned.
Sailors take warning.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
So
I
guess you're
I'm
okay.
old. That's when I was on my sailing vessels back in the olden days.
Back in the day. So we didn't actually play a sailing game, did we?
No, we didn't. We played Monster Jam Steel Titans. It was developed by Rainbow Studios and then published by THQ Nordic, who is publishing a lot of games, kind of like the old THQ. It is currently retailing for $39.99, but it is available on disc and digital.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was a physical version. That's interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let me ask you, because I know that you are in general a fan of vehicular sporting.
Yes. I'm not a fan of monster trucks, which is kind of weird. I love cars. I'm a big time car guy.
Okay.
But I am not into monster trucks. Although I was watching it the other day on TV, kind of watching how they did it. And I don't understand how they do. They do like a point system and all sorts of weird things. So this game kind of gets into what it's like to drive monster trucks. Now, this is the fifth Monster Jam game that's available either on Xbox or Xbox 360. And I will say it's probably the longest of them all.
Okay. Have you played all of the other ones, or at least
I've played all of the other ones.
Okay.
The original one, which is just Monster Jam, is probably the second most difficult.
Are they all retail games?
They were all. There's not all retail games. Actually, I don't know if Monster Jam Crush It was. That was the one that predates this on the Xbox One. I think that was download only as well. Double checking. Yeah, that was on disc too. So this is the second one on the one that's actually on disc.
Okay.
As well as download.
I feel like okay, interesting. Okay, so you've played them all.
Yep.
You're coming at this from a very, very different place than I am, and we'll get into that, I'm sure. But how did you feel about Steel?
I think this one's the most complex. Mm-hmm. It has the most to offer in the game. There's collectibles. The controls are definitely more realistic. They've always been kind of arcadey. Monster Jam Crush It was extremely arcadey. Monster Jam Battlegrounds, arcadey. Monster Jam Battlegrounds is more like I'm blanking. The game where you're on the motorcycle and you can't
like Road Rash.
Fall off. No. Like the 2D 3D kind-ish game where you're riding along and you have to get through the path and get to the checkpoint at the end.
I don't think I know. Like Loco Cycle? Is that what you're talking about? No.
No.
No. I think I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name now. Okay,
but it's basically the same thing. Where the Monster Jam Battlegrounds is one where if you die, you can just restart and play again and play again and play again. It's the same thing as the motorcycle game. And I know that Chin's probably going, "You guys are idiots again for not remembering the name of the game." But it's like that. This one is more of it has races, and then it also has it actually has kind of more of an adventure thing, which the other games didn't have, where you have a free play where you can go get collectibles and you unlock more of the free play area. The other games didn't have that. The other games were like the original one, you're in an arena. The second one, you're in an arena.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see. So, yeah. So this one has like and again, I don't really play racing games, and I guess you might qualify at least part of this game as a racing game.
Yeah, I would put this one as close to being like Forza Horizon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what it's like with monster trucks.
That's kind of the sense that I get, even though I have never played a Forza game, but there's like an open world area that you can kind of just drive around in.
Correct.
And then, you can upgrade your stuff and stuff. This is, I'll just, full disclaimer, I'm not a racing game fan in even the tiniest amount. So it's going to be very difficult for me to be super unbiased, but I'll try my best. Because it was terribly boring for me. I don't know if that's the case in general, but it was just racing around tracks. It is a pretty game, I'll say that.
Yeah, it's not ugly. And I think the free play area where you can kind of roam around a little bit, I think that's a little bit more interesting. But me as well, having played a lot of racing games and doing racing stuff for real, even I was getting bored. It's just very repetitive, kind of boring. The jumps are meh.
So I didn't know what to expect because I've never played a monster truck game before. But the first time I came up to a line of cars that presumably you're supposed to crush in your Monster Jam, you're supposed to jam them with your monster truck. There was no physics or you run over them. There's nothing happens to the cars themselves.
And actually me being, I'm going to age myself here. Back in the olden days before Monster Jam became a brand, there's trucks like Bigfoot, and then Gravedigger came around, and there was a couple other ones. Mm-hmm. That's when the crushing cars was the big thing, like jump up and crush the cars and smash the cars and all this stuff. Monster Jam now is all about flipping the trucks and bouncing the trucks on their tires and spinning the trucks around on their side and doing backflips and all sorts of stuff. The cars, they don't really do anything anymore.
No. Is okay. So you're saying that's more of like a trend, I guess. Like, it's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's totally changed because that's what I was saying when I was on TV. I was at a restaurant. It was on TV, and I was like, wow, this is totally not how big, like how trucks like that, monster trucks were like. They're totally different now.
I think I do vaguely remember Bigfoot, the monster truck from my a long forgotten youth, but it's it was just not exciting. Like, so there's races that you do, which are fine, I guess, especially because some of the races allow you to just kind of off-road wherever you want, so you can kind of make your own
you can make your own path.
Path, I guess, is what you'd say.
But did you notice if you hit something that's not in the direct way you're supposed to go, you go flying off 1,000,000 miles in the wrong direction?
The physics are so wonky in this game. Like, sometimes you can go over jump and perfectly execute this flawless flip or whatever. Sometimes you'll hit the tiniest mound and your truck will just flop for feels like 30 seconds. It's the physics feel really wonky in the game and not consistent in a way that I would think or expect in something like this, where you would want them to be consistent because it's part of what the game is, the core of the game, you know?
Yeah, that's where it gets kind of like arcadey, where it's the most simulation type version of all these Monster Jam games, but that's where the physics are still kind of arcadey and goofy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does feel like it's trying to take itself seriously, but it's got a lot of holdovers from that genre. So it's like, the more arcadey to me, at least the more enjoyable it is. There is some silly fun to be had with the physics, but if I'm trying to race all these other trucks and I hit like a bush and go flying, I get just instantly infuriated, and I'm like, oh my god, no! I'm not
and that's what'll do it. A bush will make you go flying.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Just phew.
So there's a
different no man's land.
Yeah, there's a few different type of events you can do. There's races and like score attack, I guess you'd kind of call it, where you do tricks and stuff. But again, it feels the physics are too inconsistent to be fun in a lot of ways. I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to put my bias out there, but it's just this game it felt like more of a chore to get everything done than fun.
I'll agree. And my kids were watching me play one of the times, and they were kind of like, "This is kind of boring." I'm like, "Yeah, it is." You'd really, I think maybe if you were really into being excited about monster trucks, you might care a little bit more. But
yeah,
I am not one of those people.
Yeah. If you're into monster trucks, it seems like a pretty good game. I would think that it would be pretty decent. Like I said, it's really pretty, but honestly, and this is a minor gripe, but I did want to bring it up. I felt like it had the longest load times of any game I think I've
really
played
long.
on
I agree.
Xbox One. It was insane. I don't know why.
Yeah, I will agree.
Because like the trucks are really, really nicely modeled, but the environment's good. It's decent, but it's not the most amazing, mind-blowing game. But whatever. That's fine. Let's talk about the achievements. What's the deal with the achievements?
All right, so achievements, well, there's a little bit of everything. Most of them are for getting third or better in a series of the races, and I think each series is 10 races from what I experienced. There's some for upgrading the truck, some for doing a wheelie or doing certain tricks for a certain amount of time, and then there's one for getting all the collectibles, which there are 50 collectibles to get in the free roam section, as well as unlocking trucks and stuff like that. In terms of how long it would take to play the game, there's 336 track gamers as of this recording. Only 7 have completed it, so it's a little bit of a longer game. Maybe people are getting bored, like kind of we did.
Yeah, it definitely felt doable, but I didn't stick around long enough to get a really accurate sense of how long it would take. If I had to just guesstimate, I would say probably like maybe 20 hours.
Yeah, and I actually looked to see, according to the tracker and the people that have finished it, and they're about between 18 and 22.
Okay.
Roughly.
Yeah, that seems to fit. It doesn't seem impossible, like maybe frustrating at some parts. It's a 2.6 ratio, so it's not crazy high, but it's I think it's more of a will you stick with it sort of game. And if it's your jam and you're having a great time, I think it's definitely doable. It's just going to take a lot of time.
to put into comparison to, other than the very first game, all the other games you could probably finish in the same amount of time it would do this one.
Oh, just this one. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, just to get an idea.
Yeah. So, it's not terrible. And if monster trucks are your thing, maybe it's $40 to me seems a little excessive, but it definitely has pretty high production value, I'd say.
Yeah, it does, but it would be one of those things. Wait for a sale. If you really want to wait, you could get the disc probably really cheap at retail. Mm-hmm. But it's $40. That's a lot.
That's a lot of asking price, especially for a game which feels really niche.
Yeah,
super
way
niche.
way more niche than a lot of other games like this that are out there. I mean, it's Monster. This is like catering to the same crowd that likes WWE.
I kind of feel the same way.
It really kind of is. I mean, nothing to knock against like L or anything like that because he loves WWE, but it's kind of like that.
Right.
I think just a little bit more niche.
So monster trucks, what you are saying, and we can put this in quotes under your name, is that monster truck driving is the WWE of racing, or
yes,
for this game at least. Anyway.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. 100%. Yes.
I don't disagree. So okay, that was Monster Jam Steel Titans. Check it out if you're really big into it, or if it's on a super deep discount. And with that, we'll send it back to you guys.
All right, and that was definitely an opinion that I knew beforehand because Mango sent me the wrong audio this morning, so I didn't get the audio till just now, so I haven't heard whether they liked it or not. I'm so glad they told us that they liked it. I'm glad they told us that they didn't like it.
I'm sure they loved it.
I'll totally just cut in the right one there.
Like who wouldn't love Monster Jam? After hearing like 20 minutes of them absolutely hating on this game.
Yeah, I know, right? So Cameron, what have you been playing this week?
A lot of things that destroyed my soul. Some good games, but a lot of things that destroyed my soul.
Because they were bad or easy or
bad, easy,
mind-numbing?
Bad, easy, mind-numbing. So this week I had a little bit more time to myself. So earlier in the week I just made a decision. I haven't gone for some really nice, dirty, quick, easy points in a while. What am I going to do? I did Bird Game Plus, I did Haunted Halloween 86, and I did Attack of the Toy... Well, I'm halfway through Attack of the Toy Tanks.
I'm not understanding your sentence, bad, dirty, quick, easy games. Those are great games, and I'm not sure why you're upset that you have played these amazing titles.
They're good for Gamerscore, but I would never see myself going back to them. Attack of the Toy Tanks should be easy, yeah? I'm hating this game.
Having watched it, it reminds me of well, I mean, I'm sure it probably reminds people of something else, but I just don't have reference to old games. It's in the Zazmo arcade pack. It had the tank game, and that was awful then. I imagine it's probably just as bad now.
Have you done this one at all?
I dived it. I killed a tank, and then I stopped.
Well, you just wait until you get to playing it, and you just tell me your thoughts on it then. Saying that, Haunted Halloween 86, that's not a Ratalaika game, is it?
No, that is someone else.
Okay, well, yeah. Look, it was quick and easy. Got the job done. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I got it done in like 20 minutes.
Real quick and easy.
So, I played Paradox Soul last night, which is another Ratalaika game.
Yep.
Actually, I really like the look of it. Like, it was one of those, quick, easy point ones again, like all Ratalakos are, but,
it's pixel art, yeah?
Yeah, it's pixel art. It had some kind of feel to it where I was just like, I could probably, if I was bothered, keep playing this. Like, the puzzles and that were quite good, just trying to figure out where you're meant to go.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, I finished off my run of the Shape-Shifting Detective. It is so much better having second and third runs, just being able to skip the cutscenes.
Okay, yeah. So are you done with that game now? Or?
Yeah, so I got the full completion. I went through my second walkthrough again. Felt like an absolute dummy because I figured out who the killer was, but because I was skipping through so quickly, got to the very end and I guessed Violet is the murderer. And it's like, well, it's not Violet. Violet's dead. Why would I guess Violet?
Yeah.
But I guess there is...
and ended up mashing on the wrong... Yeah.
Mashed on the wrong button. Saying that, it took me like 10 minutes to get my final achievement. Look, it's what I said last week. It's a good game, but there's not that oomph at the ending. Like, there's nothing that really,
have you
drives it home.
played their previous title, The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker?
No, I haven't. Any good?
Well, I was going to ask you whether it was better or worse than that, but well, it's enjoyable. It's not bad.
I mean,
it's got some weird, dumb achievements.
The only point of reference I have for this is Late Shift, which Late Shift I really enjoyed. I thought that was
nothing like that though.
Yeah.
Aside from being FMV, but that's like saying both games have color.
I don't know. Lately, like FMVs are just really getting me. Like, I'm more interested in them. I'm more interested in those games that have the quick, easy choices like that, or they don't have like this big branching story.
Interactive movies.
It's pretty much it, yeah.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of Oh My God Heads last night, but I got really frustrated because for whatever reason my progress is just paused. I have 3 achievements left, which, 10, 15 minutes worth of work, I could easily get myself to the completion and get another 240 GS, but no, don't want to move, don't want to unlock, just wants to, and like I've done your usual tricks, delete the game, reinstall, delete game data, just, it's not working. But yeah, those were my like, alright, I'll just do some quick and easies and get them out of the way. With Shapeshifting Detective just being a lead on from last week's random to-do list achievement.
Yep.
The other stuff is pretty much random to-do list cleanup. I worked on Truth or Lies, getting the consistent achievement, which is having like 2 players and having them stay in the same positions for the rounds of the game. I got a few quick, easy ones as well at the same time, just like having consistent lies, stuff like that. I believe points one. I think I'm pretty close to completion. It would probably take me, I don't know, 45 minutes, an hour to clean it up. I just haven't been bothered to go back to it. Moving on, Dead Island, just getting the roadkill zombies, just running over 50. Very easy, very early on in the game. Knocked it out of the way. Lumo, it's grown.
You love that game. It's got ducks, doesn't it?
It's got all the ducks.
Do they battle?
No. Ducks
battle.
You jump through them, and then you avoid your...
chickens.
You jump through them, and then you avoid your 6.0 ratio 100 Gamerscore achievement, and it's like, quit out. Start
Quack.
again. Quack.
How long does a playthrough take?
I think from top of my head, 15 to 25 hours.
Hours for a playthrough?
Playthrough.
Not completion. Playthrough.
I wouldn't be able... Look,
I haven't got there yet.
Unless this shows up again, I don't think I'm going to be doing it for a while. I'm still mad about the fact that I spent $27 on it.
Is it because you keep going back when you make a single mistake?
It's just the fact, like, if this was a grab your ducks, get out. But
Get your ducks in a row, get out.
Yeah, pretty much. But most of the achievements in this game are, if you don't get it the first try, you avoid the achievement. So you have to do it on a second run. And it's not a quick game either. So you need to know what you're doing. You need to constantly use that quit out method in order to do your first again. It's not good. Saying that, the one redeeming factor of this game is the achievement I needed for my random to-do list popped an hour early while everybody was in the party. So it was like, woo!
Right. You're like still going for it and you'd already gotten it.
It was like every 5 minutes you just hear in the corner, you see the pop up in the corner of the screen. Why is this not working? Stupid ducks.
Yeah.
Without
because
sweats.
you were That was in the party with us. You were going for that for a while, and then you're like, "Oh, I've already got it." Oh, okay then.
It's bad. Like, it's one of those games that if the achievement list was different, and you didn't have to constantly quit out and all that, and it was just one playthrough, I would probably have no problem with it. It's just one of those things that's just made difficult for the sake of being difficult. Moving on, we got Neo Master his Borderlands 2 completion, all thanks to moi. And him.
Yes, we did that. We together did that. We as a team did that. You and I together helped Neo Master get his Borderlands 2 on the Xbox One completion.
Must interject.
You and I together.
Must interject for 2 seconds. We being the gamer formerly known as Shadowless Edge. No shade push. Or whatever, any other title you want to give me. Yeah, so...
I can copy that symbol.
My misfortune became his fortune because I had to... My last achievement is to complete all side quests. Carrying my save data over from the 360... look, on the 360 I don't have side quests done either, so it shouldn't have impacted the achievement, but for whatever reason, it's glitched. And the only thing I'm missing from the game is the new DLC quests. I've done some of them, they don't pop it. I don't know. Saying that though, me swapping onto my other level 72 character, I came to the realization that I had the purple relic that Neo needed to get his achievement, and then we proceeded to just get him from level 50 to level 80 in 2 seconds. By legitimate means.
Yep, through legitimate methods that should definitely not be taken out of the game, Gearbox. Just... Look, let us make a story.
They've made their money off their game. As long as Borderlands 3 doesn't have it, then I'm sure they're happy. But I'm probably going to go back to doing the 360 version at one point, which I seem to have lost my save data to, so probably starting a new run. And then just carry it over to the Xbox One and get my final achievement, so I can pop both in one go. So yeah, that was my biggest headache for the week. Anyway, Disney Infinity, it's just that endless grind that just... I probably should go back and add up how much time this actually took me to get these 2 achievements, because it just kept going and going and going. And then I'd wake up at 4 a.m. and just couldn't sleep, and then I'd go, alright, I'm on wave 35, I could do this, I can get to level 50, wave 37, die. Start again. But look, Black Widow, good character to get it in. I mean, unless this pops up again in a random to-do list, I'm probably not going to go back to it anytime soon. It's just very time-consuming and repetitive stuff. Darksiders 2. Doing some dribs and drabs. I'll come back to it in the next week or two just to get the random to-do list achievement. I mean, it's very discouraging too when you start a walkthrough for something and it's the first achievement you're meant to get is an unattainable, and it's never going to come back to the game. Yeah, so there's that one. Dishonored is probably what I've spent a bit of time doing this week. Dishonored is a stealthy game. I'm not a stealthy individual. These poor NPCs had the pleasure of being murdered, and I chaos in a speedrun fashion. So the achievement I needed was pretty much along with the Empress for saving Emily in the last mission. And basically, you got in my way, you're dead. I don't care who you are. You're dead. Yeah, it was just... I don't see the joy in stealth games, in all honesty. It's just not my thing. I'm sure somebody enjoys them. But, I like going fast. I like games that, I can get through quickly.
So if you played as Sonic in this game, would you have enjoyed it more?
I basically did play as Sonic in this game. It was like, alright. The only issue I had with this game was as soon as you get to those, I guess, Arc Towers? I'm not sure what they're called. But they zap you and one hit kill you. That was my only issue in this game. Everything else was run to the objective, kill, or do what I need to do, run out, complete the mission. I probably only spent 5-6 hours on it for the 8 missions that there is, so I I didn't hate it. I know that if I did a low chaos run in it, I probably would nowhere near have enjoyed it as I did. And my last game was Marooners. I played a little last night just to try and get the score difference for the G-Task for Jester and Pluto being in my team. I got 30 points off the 1,000 times ratio for the 2,000 bonus, and it didn't pop. It popped a 90 Gamerscore one. And
so you were over by 60.
oh well, it was minutes. It was minutes before it should have popped, and then it rolled over, and it's like, okay, I'm minus 30. This sucks. 2 minutes after that, I swear the 90 Gamerscore one unlocked, and it was just like throwing salt in the wounds. It's like, why?
Yeah. Marooners is weird with that. Achievements seem to be all over the shop.
And I'm trying to find anything that would fill the ratio in the last half an hour. It's just, I'm sorry, guys. I love you, Jester and Pluto. Please forgive me. But
I think they're more gutted that they can't get the community challenge badge in team.
That's pretty much it. They're just like, this guy. We have to deal with this guy for 10 weeks.
I mean, you don't. You could give up. You're not going to get the badge on team anyway, so it's fine.
But like, if I can't give up on individual though.
Yeah, that's the thing. By giving up on team, you're probably going to be giving up on the individual as well. Like, you can't score points in individual and say these don't count for team.
And what was the one this week? Just to
have a ratio under 1.5 on the solo side.
Oh,
that's easy. It's
easy. Okay, cool.
Just play a bunch of Ratalaika games.
Okay, we'll see how I go with that. And yeah, so that pretty much. Where am I? Get back to it. Cool. That pretty much led me to 4,625 Gamerscore for the week, which I think is good considering at the moment, and getting 15 out of my 25 random to-do list achievements.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yay.
So, most of what I did this week was finishing off my bean dive, and then working on the recovery a little bit, as well as some of the random to-do list achievements I had. Obviously mentioned a few of my bean dive titles above, so we'll just go through the rest of the list now for the listeners, because I did hit 177 and we only touched on 25 in the alphabet, so we'll just do the rest of them. Okay? No, that'd be ridiculous.
I mean, you did 26, didn't you?
20 no, minus X. I didn't do X.
Yeah, but you had number. Yeah,
26. Oh, you disgust me, Chin. No, I'm not going to go through the rest of them. But I did 177. I got a percentage drop of 3.89% on my completion percentage. So I almost hit 4% drop. I needed somewhere between 2,000 and 2,100 achievements to recover. I didn't actually look at that before I started working it off again. So unfortunately I don't know what that exact number was, but I'm down to I think 1,932. So I've done pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good, yeah.
So aside from that, I wanted to talk about 4 random to-do list games, as well as another game that I've dipped my toes into this week. We'll start with the random to-do list, and game that I mentioned earlier in the Bean Dive stuff was Remy Law. So this is essentially a roguelite dungeon crawler game, but also an anime. So the graphics are very anime styled. The voice acting is very atypical anime, and the mannerisms, the way they speak, the different things they discuss. So you play as a character named Remy, who is sucked into, teleported to another world by a book called Law, a magical book, who wakes up and casts a spell and teleports both of you, and you're essentially fighting through these worlds to get to the portal to go back to your world. The gameplay's simple enough. You have an isometric view, you hit B for a fast attack, hit Y for a strong attack, and you do a mixture of the two to do combos to mix it up. You have different types of spells and different weapons you can use, so there's different classes of weapons as well, so there's hammers and gauntlets and one-handed swords. One of my favourite weapons for the one-handed swords was a chocolate banana. It was essentially a banana on a stick coated in chocolate with some sprinkles. And it's just, like, that's just such an anime Japan thing. And to use that as a weapon is great. There's an S-class weapon as well. S rank, top tier. It's possibly one of my favorite games I've played this year. Possibly one of my favorite roguelites I've played. I was looking forward to this coming out for a long time. And then it came out and it was too expensive. And I didn't want to buy it because it's like $50, $60. I mean, playing it now, it's still probably not worth it. But I wanted to play it, so I paid what I had to pay. But I mean, 30 is probably more realistic. It's just crazy expensive at this price. Moving on from an amazing game to two really bad ones. Subject 13. So this is kind of like a really awful point-and-click adventure puzzle game. It has fixed camera angles within the rooms, but you can sort of pivot the camera on the axis, but it stays in the spot. Like, it doesn't rotate around your character or anything. It's maybe in a corner of a room and you look around like Resident Evil style. You're locked into that camera angle. The puzzles are really dumb. Like, they were easy for the most part, but then some of them were like, how would you even figure this out? The controls and everything was really clunky and not fun to play. Like, even if it was just maybe the puzzles and walking and moving was smoother, it would have been a way better game. But when you're struggling to even move between rooms to get to the puzzle you need to interact with and stuff, it wasn't fun. Immediately after that, I played back in 1995. So despite it deliberately trying to be olden style and have tank controls and low poly graphics, because I just played Subject 13, it was so much better. I really enjoyed it. The gameplay is super simple. I followed Bill Zuminati's guide and got the completion in under an hour. I'm sure if I hadn't just played Subject 13, it would have been way worse. But because I did, it was fantastic. It's a great game. Loved it. Zeros. Zeros came out a while ago. Games with Gold. At launch. Lots of people played it. It was a buggy mess then. It got fixed to a reasonable point. Like, it was okay. And then they released some DLC and that made things worse. And now the game's just kind of horrendous. I needed the 100 hit combo achievement for the random to-do list. It was the lowest ratio that I had locked in the game, in the base game at least. I'm not including the DLC because I haven't started that yet. It's at a 5.31 because of all that Games with Gold inflation. It is honestly not that difficult once I'd found the right spot. I got it probably after about 5 or 6 attempts in the correct area. You know, if I didn't get it, I'd die, restart the section. And then I got it. I got 108 hits, and it didn't pop. I thought, okay, it's going to be a delayed pop, because I'd had delayed pops for a couple games leading up to this point, where I don't know whether Xbox Live was just sluggish.
Because this was the other day when they had issues with the services as well, didn't they?
I don't know if they had issues. I didn't have a look, but I imagine so, because I was getting delayed pops all day.
I think I was in the party with you at the same time. I think there was Xbox Live issues as well.
Yeah, so that would explain it. So it didn't pop. I waited. Thought that's weird. Maybe it's done a silent pop. Checked the app on the computer. Yep, it's unlocked. Okay, that's weird. Actually, no. I checked it to try and trigger it, because usually that going to check it there will trigger the unlock. Didn't trigger it, but showed it was already unlocked. So I went, okay, that's weird. Checked the list on my console. 100% locked. So it had 100% the requirements, but it was still locked. And that's something I haven't seen in a while. That's the old done unlocking issue, which was supposedly fixed by Xbox and then wasn't a thing anymore. On your recommendation, I unlocked another achievement in the game for completing a level without getting hit. which was a little bit difficult, but once I figured out what I was doing, it was fine. That was like a 9 ratio, so ridiculous. Didn't pop it. That achievement popped. Nothing. The other one didn't pop. But now it had moved on my console from the locked section to the unlocked section. But it still wasn't scanning on TA. I was force scanning. I got a mod to do a full scan, so it does a deep dive scan, and it will scan everything. Nothing. Didn't show up. Nothing. It turns out what had happened is that's the new done unlocking. So rather than telling you this is done unlocking, you know it's stuck in the server, they just put it in the unlocked section because I guess most people don't have a true achievements to check their account and see whether it's actually unlocked. So they just put it in there and they know it'll probably sync eventually and everything will be fine. But because this was for random to-do list, I was like, man, if this doesn't pop, I'm going to be in trouble.
It's us looking at something very closely as compared to your average gamer going,
who's just,
it's unlocked. Yeah,
it's
cool.
Unlocked. That's fine, cool. I think my Gamerscore went up for it, but I don't remember like exactly, but I'm pretty sure my Gamerscore went up for it, and it didn't. It was weird.
Strange.
It came through like 5 hours later, so we're all fine there. But it was just a really odd moment. And actually, adding on to that, I wasn't going to talk about it, but I was playing Disney Universe on the 360. So this is a normal standard 360 game. Unlocked 2 achievements there. Online, absolutely, definitely sure it was online. They were showing up on Xbox.com, all that stuff. But again, not scanning on TA. And they didn't scan until like a day later, and they nearly stuffed me up on the bonus.
How close was this to... Oh, well...
This was like an hour before cutoff.
Oh, so this would have been last night. Yeah, jeez.
Yeah. So
that's weird.
Because I looked, I'm like, okay, so that's 30 gamer score. I need 45 gamer score to reach the flat 1,000 multiple. And I was tossing up, do I just get a 15 and then wait to see if it unlocks and then have 2 other 15s set up really quickly ready to go? Or I said, no, they're not going to scan in. They haven't scanned in all day. Everything will be fine. Unlocked my 3 15.0 achievements for 45 and refreshed, had a look, and we gained 130 gamer score. I don't know where the other 100 came from. I know where the 30 came from,
so
because now my Disney Universe had scanned in. We had an extra 100 out of nowhere. I have no idea.
Oh, jeez.
I did scramble and I got the extra 830.
Okay, so you got your bonus.
Got it. Yeah, I used Ratalaika stuff. So I used Bird Game Plus and Neon Junctions and Eruption Invasion and stuff. But like,
I'm glad one team did.
I was just so confused about what was going on. But anyway, back to actually to the stuff that I've written down. I started playing Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. I am 100% using a guide because it's a visual novel. And that's how you play a visual novel. That's how you do it. So it's fun. I'm enjoying the humor and the all the jokes and stuff. It's really good. So I'm up to the 5th chapter, which is the last chapter in the first game. Apparently have missed the missable achievement in that chapter. So I'm like, oh, that's fine. I usually save at the end of the chapters, and so I can go back. No, this time, for some reason, I decided to save somewhere in the middle of the chapter 5, so I'm going to have to go back and go through until I get to that chapter again. So I'm definitely going to leave that till last. Yeah. And I don't know how I missed it, though, because I feel like I followed the guide to a T. I clearly didn't. Clearly missed something, but yeah.
It's one of those games, too, like you'll pause, you come back to it, and then you'll make the mistake based off that.
Yeah, and that was probably it. But yeah, anyway, it's been good so far. It's again, I like the humor, the character design, all that stuff's really interesting. So I'm sitting now. Just before we started recording, I got my stacking achievement for the random to-do list. So I'm sitting on 20 out of 25, and I got 7,371 gamer score.
What?
Yeah, so there's so much bean dive and just random G-task nonsense, but
and you having the actual time to do this stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm off work till Monday again, so...
Yeah, lucky.
Yep. And I'm gonna... Oh, wow, I almost skipped the sales completely. Like, I almost went just straight to the milestones, because I'm like, no, there's no knobs and discos, so we'll just go to...
After
sales.
all that discussion with the sales before, we're just going to skip the sales.
I know.
Oh,
So,
jeez.
Cameron, you can do the sales up to... You can go through everything and then say what you're probably going to buy, and then I'll jump in.
Cool. Alright, so for quick points this week, there is not necessarily completions. There's Outbreak The Nightmare Chronicles for 50% off at $4.49. And we have Albert and Otto for 70% off at $3.59. Easy Points New Aura on sale is Letter Quest Grimm's Journey Remastered 70% off for $2.99. I do believe... Oh, I may be wrong. I may have been taken out of Game Pass.
Yeah, it's been removed from Game Pass,
Okay.
yeah.
I played this through Game Pass, though. It's a good game.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
For my recommendation, I would put through Sunset Overdrive. It's 50% off at $9.95. To me, if you own an Xbox One, this is... Out of all the titles you could own, this is definitely one of the ones that you need to have. It's such a good game. It's got such a good mix of humor, mechanics, story. The only thing that let me down on the whole thing was the fact the multiplayer DLCs just seem like a little bit broken for what they are. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if you're looking at this purely as a single player adventure, it's I can't think of a better Xbox One title. I'm a massive fan.
I feel the complete opposite. Like I knew it was Insomniac doing it, and I knew they did Ratchet and Clank. I love Ratchet and Clank, and I went in expecting something similar to that, and it wasn't. And maybe it is a good game, and it's purely because it wasn't what I expected that I dislike it. But I just don't have fun with it.
I think it's purely for me. It was the fact that it came out around a time where games like Titanfall were coming out, and like I said before, I'm the kind of gamer that I want to feel that movement. I want to feel like I'm progressing fast. This is one of those games that has a bunch of collectibles, but like you're grinding like on rails. You're doing backflips. You're doing a multitude of things that makes it fun while you're doing it. But yeah, look, I definitely recommend it. It's been on sale multiple times, but I mean, I just think if you own an Xbox One, you need this title.
Yep, fair enough. Yeah. I didn't have a real good chance to look at anything I'd recommend, so I don't have a recommendation this week. Not to say there's no good games in the sale, I just didn't get a chance to look at it with any real depth, unfortunately.
Yeah.
What are you potentially going to buy?
Speaking before, I bought Degrees of Separation. That was 80% off, but I'm not sure if that was part of last week's sale or this week. I think it was this week's.
I believe it's in the Super Game sale.
Cool. Yeah, so that was 80% off, $30 Australian, price down to $5.95. I mean, it looks interesting. I got it based off what you were saying before. Just having the either your joint 2-player experience or being able to control both aspects. I'm going to go in completely blind and see what I think. And
I don't think there's missables. I believe there's chapter select and
okay, so
it's,
cool.
It's like collectibles and finding some secret areas. So it's not, you're not going to be like, damn, I missed this thing. It's pretty easy cleanup.
And then I guess potentially maybe Borderlands Game of the Year edition. I don't know if we'll wait to see if it drops down any lower, but I didn't record the price. It's 50% off. I think it was $22.50 off the top of my head, somewhere around that ballpark. I mean, it's Borderlands. The only thing I'm not going to look forward to is doing the Arena DLC.
Yeah,
that DLC.
Just run it with me when I run it.
We'll have so much fun. I mean, it
So
can't
much fun.
it can't be any worse than doing Wave 50 in Disney Infinity. I mean, it's the same thing. In all honesty, it's just mindless, numbing, grinding.
Well, I'm probably going to get Farm Together, Puyo Puyo Champions, and the Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. So those 3 games are in the Super Game Sale, which Microsoft are holding this week, as well as their standard deals with Gold. There is a ton of stuff. I think there's 300 plus things to look at, so I would recommend going and checking out. Again, the articles came out only just recently in a easy to read format, so I've just quickly sort of listed down games I spotted as I scrolled through the list of easy titles. So I'm just going to be saying titles, no prices, no discount, whatever. Just games that maybe if you're interested in, they're on sale now, you can go have a look. Murdered Soul Suspect, the arcade game series 3-in-1 pack, which is Gallagher, Dig Dug, and Mr. Pac-Man. Mr. Pac-Man. Not just Pac-Man, it's Mr. Pac-Man, because it's Mrs. Pac-Man is the other one. So he obviously has to be Mr. Pac-Man. You're an idiot, Chin. 1111 Memories Retold, A Way Out, Abzu, Adam's Venture Origins, Arcade Classics Anniversary Collection, Ben 10, Black the Fall, Brothers A Tale of Two Sons, Child of Light, DreamWorks Dragon's Dawn of New Riders, Firewatch, Monopoly Plus, Oh My Godheads, Soma, The Grand Tour Game, Jackbox Party Pack 5, Transference, Trivial Pursuit Live, Uno, Valiant Hearts The Great War, and Virginia. So there are probably more easy games in there as well that I didn't spot, but those are just, as I scroll down, that's what I saw. So you can tell it's a reasonably... Paw Patrol, that's the one I forgot to put in that I definitely saw. Paw Patrol is also on sale.
I was gonna also mention the fact that with Trivia Pursuit and Monopoly Plus, you also have your bundle for the Hasbro stuff, which a lot of them are pretty easy. Like if you're chasing like a nice bulk of games that have somewhat quick points.
Yeah, so new games. Oh no, I got distracted. When people ping me on Discord, I get distracted. Does my head in. On Wednesday, we have Initial 2 New Stage, which is eHome Entertainment. eHome are the publishers that bring Chinese games over.
Okay.
So this is a Chinese dev. They are bringing a Chinese dev over and presenting their games to the West. On Thursday, we have Etherborn. We have FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We have Growtopia. And on Friday, we have Welcome to Hanwell, which I think is a survival horror game of some description.
European Truck Racing Championship. That'll be interesting.
Yes. Yeah, well, sorry. I think that's going to be... That'll be the review for episode 53.
Yay!
Yeah.
Nice.
Milestones. It's impressive. Have you seen this milestone list?
There we go. Yeah, cool. I mean, it's a big list.
Yeah, I think we need to break it up. So you take the top half, I'll take the bottom half. So you stop after games played, because that's the top half.
Wait, what? Am I looking at the right card?
No, definitely not, I'd say. It says 50.
Yeah, I was looking at the right card. Cool. Yeah. Alright, I'll meet halfway.
Yeah. So you stop after games played, because that's about the halfway point. So once you've finished it,
Which one?
Well, obviously the end of it.
Okay. Katie has reached a new milestone, 750 games played. This is what this said. Which
the end
one?
of the games played ones.
Okay, cool.
After all the games played ones.
Okay. Secular Forever has reached a new milestone of 1,750 games played.
Okay, now I come in to do the other half. Brett43 has reached a new milestone of 500,000 Gamerscore.
Now, when you said halfway, I was going to wait till Secular Forever is reached, and then that's when you were meant to chime in.
No, that's ridiculous. Why would we say half each? Don't speak your nonsense to me.
Anyway.
Get your nonsense out of here. Get off my podcast. No, don't leave. Don't leave. I don't want to do this by myself. I'm scared. Oh God, see that? You don't stick me and Cameron in a podcast alone together, because this is what happens. You pretty much don't stick me alone with anyone, otherwise this happens. Isn't that right? We take out Alex, who's the sensible one, and then we just all turn to mush.
I don't think we've gone off topic that much.
No, we haven't gone off topic. We just don't.
But saying that,
sense.
Alex will be back next week, and it'll be an hour
Yeah,
podcast.
he'll be back next week. You can see how boring it is when he runs the show, and how much you can. Maybe we can all vote. Oh, that's definitely. I'm definitely going to put in the survey who should be the main. I don't know. Main's not the right word. Who should be the host that sort of runs you through, and who's the train conductor, if you will.
Do you like having a nice structured podcast, or do you want a podcast that's off the rails, all the frills?
Do you want a podcast that's boring and follows exactly what we have to say and never it's not dynamic and it's not organic, or do you want a cool, hip, fun, we're going to go jump on a trampoline podcast? I'm the second one, by the way.
You're going to do a podcast that's just going to be jumping on a trampoline.
I'm gonna put a soundbite here of a song that I really like called Trampoline.
Who by?
I'll send it to you. I don't remember who it's by.
Yeah.
But it's gonna happen right now.
Okay.
Life looks better when you're on your trampoline, but keep an eye on gravity and don't forget to bounce.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll send it to you later, but that was
Okay.
good, wasn't it, listeners? I hope I was smart enough and I didn't deafen you all, but I bet I did.
I hope you included it.
Yeah. Awkward silence. Okay. If you would like to contact us about episode 50, which we've done, and we made no fanfare about it either. Episode 50 is nothing to us. 52 is where it's at. That's a year.
I mean, look, you had me on here, so you know it was gonna be.
50 is but a number.
Yeah.
52 is a number, but it's better.
Oh, jeez. Nearly getting to the year.
I don't know. I don't know if 52 is where you celebrate, or whether 53, the start. I don't know. The end of the year, or the start of a new season, I guess, is what you'd call it, wouldn't you?
I don't know.
Because you can't celebrate both, because that would be silly.
Why not just celebrate thrifty? Why not just celebrate 50?
We're gonna celebrate 53. Okay, 53 is what we celebrate.
I mean, just celebrate every week.
Okay, every week's a party. Right, if you would like to contact us, you can email us hello@realgamerscore.com. You can hit us up on Twitter @realgamerscore. You can talk to us on podcast.
On podcasts. I mean, if you want, you can send your audio in to either Alex or Kirby,
and we'll listen to it and then respond.
If they
you
get
can
time.
talk to us about the podcast in the podcast channel on Discord, discord.io/realgamerscore. What a save!
Was it though?
If this has inspired you to give us money monthly to keep us going, you can donate to us at Patreon, patreon.com/realgamerscore. We can't stress this enough. The fact that people are willing to put their monetary funds towards this is ridiculous to us, and we want to give back more. We're just lazy and dumb, so we don't always. We've had an idea cooking for 6 months, and it just never happened.
Kirby's just waiting to get enough money to go to the casino, bet it all in black, and double it.
I absolutely have enough now to do that.
Yeah, but I mean, you could do it with any figure.
No, I have a reasonable amount. I think there's a reasonable amount in the Patreon, especially once it converts from US dollars to Australian.
I'm sure we're going to get that message in the Discord one day too, saying,
Kirby is.
Hey
guys! Kirby has left the server.
just like, hey guys, so you know that Patreon money that we had set aside for those cool AAA games and that are coming out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Just wait another 6 months.
Speaking of, we are very, 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 very close to our next tier, where we can do a lot. We can run a lot more contests that have prizes, because we could run contests now, but they just wouldn't really have prizes, or they'd be like out of pocket, which is fine. But we just don't. I'm not made of money yet.
I mean,
I'm looking into surgery to turn me into money. Then I'll be made of money. It'll be great. If you want to write in questions to the show, like why or what the hell was that, you can send them into any of those contacts. Don't send it to Patreon. That would be weird, unless you want to, but it'd be weird to do that. Send it to one of the other three. We'll answer it for sure, probably. If you're interested in being on the show, if you wanna feel this raw, live nonsense, then send a message to Alex on Discord. That's Professor Pluto, and he'll run you through what we need to know before we can get you on. If you want to help out the podcast in other ways, maybe not necessarily monetarily, you can subscribe to us on iTunes or whatever podcast platform you listen to. Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Love you, Kingsman. And all our other listeners, just that I specifically, and we say it every week, Kingsman's our one iHeartRadio listener. We should honestly, just at this point, we should say subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Kingsman Radio.
Kingsman Radio?
We really should.
He's holding up the platform.
He is making that platform survive. They cannot close it down because they're like, we have one guy left on here, subscribe to everything. Like, we can't shut down because there's this one guy preventing us. No, leave a review on any of those platforms and we'll get it. If we don't get it, so if we're at the start of the month we're not reading out your reviews, it means our aggregator is missing it. Please let us know, because we want to hear your reviews. We want to know what you want to say, criticisms, whatever. We want to know so we can get better. Also, it's nice to hear your name on a podcast, I guess, if you listen to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can tell your friends. Word of mouth is the best way to grow this stuff. It's honestly the amount of help that word of mouth does. Even if the person doesn't listen to it, they may recommend it to people they know who would be interested. It's ridiculous how much growth happens purely from word of mouth. Retweet us on Twitter, specifically the Real Gamerscore account, because that's the one that will put out the notice for the new episodes and that sort of thing. But myself or Alex or whoever else is on the show, we usually tweet stuff about the show. Just retweet it, get the community growing. It'd be amazing. Subscribe to us on YouTube. That's where we put up our reviews. All our episodes get automatically published there as well. So you can watch some gameplay footage with the review we're doing. Usually when I remember to record. Or, because I know Prue streams it on Mixer and then uses that footage. Sometimes Mixer just doesn't save the VOD.
Yeah.
It's dumb. Sometimes it's just like, yeah, I know you put like an hour of work into it, but we lost it. I know where it went. Too bad. There's literally nothing we can or want to do about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mixer.
We're not refilming anything.
You're the best. I didn't do I've had 8-hour streams that I did just get disappear. I'm like, oh cool, I wasn't recording because I have issues when I record and stream at the same time, so thanks, Mixer. Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, if you really want to give us some money, do it through Patreon. It's the easiest way to make sure that we know who you are and can reward you as you deserve. Honestly.
With those tasty, delayed outtakes.
They will probably be maybe on time this month.
Oh, okay.
I have got most of them done. I think I've just got the last episode of the month to do and then listen through and make sure I didn't abuse someone. I did make sure I didn't abuse someone important.
Okay, yeah, I was
Let's clarify.
That end bit, I'm just like, I get abused all the time.
There's abuse
what does
all
this mean?
around. But it's the important people we don't want to abuse. Like, I don't know. I can't think of anyone
I
important.
was going to say,
well,
well, I would have said the Patreon subscribers, but being one of those,
no, I'm fairly certain that's in like the terms and conditions that you signed when you donated. You will get abused. Deal with it.
You're giving us money to abuse you.
Exactly.
It's a good trade-off.
Look, no, not good. Cameron, how can we contact you if we wanted to talk to you about how awesome you've been in this episode and how much people feel sorry for you for doing this with me for over 2 hours and
It's been
really like
it's been my
have put
pleasure.
up with me.
It's been fun. It's been informative, breathtaking. Anyway,
it's a podcast.
Yeah, so if you wanted to contact me, you can contact me by by my Xbox Achievement Group, which is the Xbox Achievement Community on Facebook. You can contact me on the Discord on the Real Gamerscore server under the name Shadowless Edge, or if Kirby has changed it to something else, probably No Shade Bush, or any other.
I did try to change it to the symbol that the artist formerly known as Prince changed his name into. It wouldn't allow it.
Oh, jeez.
It did. It had like a description of it. I'm like, maybe I do just hit OK and that's his name. And it's really long and stupid, but no.
Oh, jeez. Okay, yeah, please don't change it anymore, because a newbie's going to join and be like, who the hell is this guy? Anyway, back next month after my move, I will probably be streaming on Mixer again too. So just, Shadowless Edge. Probably going to aim for Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday night streams at this point. I think that's it. And yeah, Twitter, just usually just retweeting all the podcast episodes.
All right. And I can be found on True Achievements, on Xbox.com, on Discord, on Twitter, on Mixer, all of these places at ChinDocta. That's ChinDocta. And that's where you'll find me. I occasionally do things. Discord is much easier because I am way more entertaining on Discord.
Just
This podcast is the vehicle to the Discord where entertaining things happen. This is B grade level comedy compared to the Discord.
I mean, you'll get some questionable images. You'll get some 20 minute videos that convey the point in like 1 minute. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. No, I'm not sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Own it. That's your fault for watching the first 19 minutes. I didn't tell you to do that, you fool.
I mean, like,
Anyway.
what somebody expects from putting a TV in an oven?
Yeah. Yeah.
Context.
That's episode 50 though. So,
Woo.
thank you so much for joining and listening. Hopefully you will listen to us next week. Hopefully we haven't lost about 30,000 listeners.
We had
didn't have that
30,000?
many to start with, so if we've lost it, we're going to be super negative. We're going to be like, I don't even know how that's going to work. We're going to have to pull our audio out of people's ears. It's not going to be a fun experience for you or for me. Anyway, though, thank you so much for coming. We will let you listen to us next week. Bye, guys.
Catch you guys. Woo!